Ladies and gentlemen, Dropkixx Wrestling takes you back to Southend-on-Sea for a tag team title contest between the current champions, the Flying Scotsmen, and possibly the most unlikely #1 contenders in recent history, the Cornnells. At my side, the fabulous Lucas Jackson.
Thank you. And here we are at Southend, looking back on Southend, as I ready for the tag team title contest.
And here we go, the Cornnells on their way to the ring now. This match, as we said, at Southend, the Cornnells apparently have been on the beach all day. Got this match after a shock defeat over Team Perfection.
And it would have shocked defeat. It would have very shocking defeat. I don't even think they believe it still, as they were out celebrating in Southend for the whole week, I believe.
They really enjoyed themselves on that one. And let's be fair, it's given them a new confidence as well, the Cornnells.
I think so. I mean, any victory you can get inside that square circle, it really does give you confidence. And I think, you know, but they are going against...
What is he wearing?
I have no idea.
My word.
My lord.
Well, they sort of suit him. Although I wouldn't wear them to a wrestling match.
Indeed, I mean, I haven't seen underwear like that, you know, since a very long time.
You've got a very important match for the tag team title. What's wrong? On the beach. You're on the beach. Time to get ready. Oh, you're on the beach. Oh, okay, right. Oh, sorry.
No one told us we were starting this early.
Oh, right. I see.
Most have said 7 o'clock. We were meant to be here early enough.
I guess if you win tonight, you can always still have around Southend here, right?
Not bloody going back there. It's worse than this lot.
Well, he's appropriately dressed. Anyway, the Cornnells, ladies and gentlemen. And their opponent.
And there's Eddie the Cornnell back. Slightly better dressed, I think, for this occasion.
Yeah, slightly more appropriately dressed, I thought. But here they come, the most decorated tag team in Dropkixx history, the 5-time record-breaking tag team champions of Europe, the Flying Scotsmen, always ever popular. You hear the crowd already getting into a frenzy as they're coming out. Gary and Stephen.
Great reaction there for the boys.
And of course, you know, they've been Dropkixx mainstays now for over a decade now, believe it or not. Over a decade.
Over a decade, it's hard to believe. And you look at them, they are still flying, still excellent wrestlers.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it just, no one seems to be able to beat them, you know.
And you've been able to watch them get better and better over the years.
Well, of course, I mean, you know, as a Dropkixx mainstay myself, you know, I've seen many great tag team matches featuring the Dohertys. One of our premier tag teams here at Dropkixx.
And that experience making them more dangerous because they've had all those years to gel together.
But I think this would be a very interesting contest for both teams because I think the Cornnells will be looking to prove that they've still got, they know that they wasn't a fluke, you know, against Team Perfection back at Ilford. The Dropkixx will be looking to prove that they are the best tag team at Dropkixx and maybe even in the country. The referee has to do some boot checks here, of course. So you've got to be very careful with the Cornnells because they're coming from East London, and East London isn't the nicest of places. I've gone over what they have underneath his boot, anyway. Freddie Cornnell there.
Certainly have been known to use unorthodox objects in the past. Checking Eddie's boots there. Although, quite frankly, we saw earlier that I don't think he had space to be carrying anything on him.
Yeah, it's safe to say. In the rules of tag team wrestling, obviously, one wrestler has to be outside of the ring on the apron, wait for a tag. And you see there, I mean, that was a nice tactic. You know, they were kind of giving them false hope there, I thought. But into the corner they go.
Well, they shook hands and the match was on.
Oh, and a massive drop kick there, sending both members of the Cornnell to the outside.
And there you see the advantages of Scottish dancing there.
Of course, yes.
Swing your partners round and, well, into your opponent.
I think that the problem with that as well was the fact that one needs to remember that the Flying Scotsmen have been together as a team for much longer than the Cornnells have been together for. I mean, obviously, the Cornnells share a bloodline, you know, with Teddy being the nephew of Freddie. But unfortunately, I think this experience that the Dohertys have got in the ring is going to, you know, really be the biting point here.
They're up against two guys with far superior coordination, hanging out there.
And through the rope!
Oh my
goodness!
word, the Doherty's not waiting there, and he's
The other one's gone as well.
Straight there onto that hard wooden floor.
I mean, there's no give to that as well. I mean, a lot of people think that we have these mats or we have some sort of padding on that floor.
Well, you can see the floor. You can see the floor there on the footage there. That is just solid wood.
And they're risking their bodies with every single manoeuvre like that. And
It's very high risk. I've seen many wrestlers injured that way. But now down to some classic wrestling again.
taking down that nice headlock takedown. That's Gary Doherty in the ring. Gary Doherty is the slightly heavier Doherty of the two. They are identical twins, of course, and some people do have trouble differentiating them. Nice there. You see, he blocked the attempt to suplex and took him right back down into the headlock.
Beautifully done, beautifully controlled, and that's important in this match, keeping control, especially in these early stages where you're just wearing them down.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm often one to talk about the wrist lock being one of the most dangerous manoeuvres in the match, but the headlock's up there probably is a close second. Cross body there. Straight to the cover.
If anything, the headlock in many ways more useful because I'd say it's harder to get out of than the wrist lock.
See a tag there. You see, these two know each other so well. You see, taking down with a drop toe hold, taking the leg back into the head, back onto the head, back into the headlock,
taking control.
And you see there the distance there, the ring positioning there of Stephen Doherty now in the ring. You know, he's kind of toying with him there. I would have thought.
Certainly not allowing Eddie Cornell into the ring.
I don't think Freddie liked that one bit. But now he makes the tag. I mean, I don't know whether that was a mistake there by Stephen Doherty, or just a case saying, look, you know, I've done what I can with you. Let's get your nephew in and see if he works any better.
I think I'd agree with you that it was a mistake. To be fair, you've got that one guy. If you can get them worn down quickly, keep them in your corner. You can keep the other guy out of it altogether.
Oh, absolutely. But I think as well, it could be smart in the Doherty's favour because I know that Teddy Cornell here isn't as experienced as his uncle, of course.
That does show at times.
It does show at times. I mean, he's a good kid. This one, he's definitely one to watch for 2013.
But Freddie Cornell knows so many tricks, and people look at him, they underestimate him. Eddie Cornell.
Nice there, nice nip up there. See that by Teddy.
But yeah, Eddie Cornell still young and inexperienced compared to his uncle. But I've been watching these two. I've been watching Eddie, and he's been learning a lot of tricks of late off his uncle.
Well, yes, I mean, and some of them not as pleasing as others, and I don't think it's appropriate. But a nice clothesline there, taking Stephen Doherty down. There's a good angle there as well for that. Up and over, and a crossbody, beautiful.
Brings
there.
him down. Kicks out there.
I mean, often you see a crossbody being done by the opponent on the attack. But see one from a defensive standpoint just is testament to how experienced these two are, both as a tag team and individually. Double axe handle there.
A lot of people think of the crossbody as a cruiserweight move. These two lads, quite a lot of weight to them as well, so that move, when it hits hard.
Whiz, of course. And two leg drop. Oh, missing the second one. That could be costly there. And I think that's Gary Doherty now. Gary Doherty has got a bad knee. He is still recovering from that injury that did keep him out of action for a little bit. So we have to watch that as the match goes on. But taking him back down, with the drop toe hold there, and up to standing.
Back to the basic moves there. Back to the safer things. And that knee again.
Yeah, the knee. It went. You see there, the knee. It's not all there. I think once you have an injury, any specific injury, no matter what the doctor says, no matter what hospital that you go to, you still feel it there. I've had injuries in the ring, and I know how it can be.
And it takes very little to set them off again, and Freddie Cornell has noticed this now.
Well,
he's
yes,
right on it.
He's right on it there.
He's not one to miss a trick.
This is one of, I believe, it's a signature here for the Cornells here. And they're now going to pick apart that body part. And that's, again, that testament, I would have thought this is more planning by, Freddie Cornell, being the older one of the two. And now, this move is a heel hook, and people think, oh, it's a heel hook, it only hurts the leg, only it hurts the the heel and the ankle area. No, it twists out that ligament there in the knee, which obviously, you know, it can be very, very painful for the best of people in the best physical condition. But obviously with Gary Doherty's previous knee injuries, you know, that really going to come to play for this one.
And a move that Gary's used to knowing himself from the other end as well. I've seen him use that move himself many a time.
Yeah, many a time. And I think once you do have an injury like that, you know, you are a bit more wary of that, and you would know how it feels. And I think it's something which, at the moment, the Cornells are going to just pick apart. And you can see, you know, Gary Doherty's not in the best place at the moment.
And Freddie back there working on that leg. Really dropping it to the ground with all he can.
Gary Doherty's not in the best of ways at the moment, I would have thought.
And they're swapping in and out. This is the other good thing to use with tag team. You swap in and out, you keep the fresh man in the whole time.
And I think this is something I would have thought, to be honest, the Cornells, don't know either how they would have got hold of a television, but they might have, you know, tuned into some of the old tag team wrestling matches and seen how teams, you know, from the 80s and the 90s would have done it, because they are, at their hearts, a traditional tag team. That's what one's got to remember. But obviously they got their opponents here well scouted, because they knew about the knee injury, they knew about that situation, and now they're going to try their best to utilise it. And this could be the downfall, I would have thought, for the Flying Scotsmen.
Quite so. And indeed, Freddie, quite an aficionado of the old school wrestling game. And tagging in again. Freddie coming back into the ring, straight on the leg. And Doherty there in real trouble. And this move, this could do some real danger, but...
You see though, he did do it, unfortunately, into the corner where Stephen Doherty is in.
The direction that move can go in can be very unpredictable.
But I think
he should have been so much more careful with it.
But he was very quick to, you know, to pull Stephen Doherty, to pull Gary Doherty back, you know, from that position.
He was.
And he's trying his best to fight this off, but this must be so painful for him.
Oh, and this time, the right direction there. Tag in.
And once you can pick up the knee of an opponent, it makes it very, very hard for that person to stand up. It makes it very hard for that person to run. And even more importantly, for the Flying Scotsmen, make it very, very, very difficult for them to fly.
It does indeed. And this is going to make a huge difference. You saw that jump through the ring ropes earlier on. That move denied to him now, really.
Well, pretty much, there's a lot of moves now which you got to imagine will not be able to be used. But he dodged that and sends Freddie, I think, bouncing straight off the ring post. And again, the ring can be used as a weapon. I say this many times, but he's not there with his legs. Is he there? It's just
tried making a run for it and hop for it and
hop for it. That's more like it.
Straight back on the legs. Devastating moves.
So those kicks there are just a matter of saying, look, it's just a matter of time before we beat you. But let's just try and humiliate you a bit before we do.
But that was in there, the inside of the knee that kick was connecting with. That's delicate, definitely. That's dangerous, and that is going to wear you to pieces.
I think here now, Freddie is almost looking, I think, for a single leg boss. No. What's he doing? He's got his handkerchief. Oh,
I think the referee was pointing out that there was some kind of foreign object in his pocket, turned out to be his handkerchief. Admittedly, not something you'd want to come in contact with.
Especially with, you know, Freddie being from the bins of barking. So the crowd now getting behind the Flying Scotsmen a little bit. But I think at this moment now, Gary Doherty really, really needs to be looking at getting that tag.
The Scotsmen are finding a surprising amount of difficulty with this troublesome twosome.
I think as well, they're utilising the fact that they have got a 5 count before they allowed both that, for one of them has to exit the ring with the tag. And they're utilising that now, as you see. Lovely. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Not from these two, but beautiful teamwork there.
I mean, that was a double Northern Light suplex, and that was very impressive.
Beautifully done. I mean, you can see that they've been really forming together as a tag team now. You can see these two have really got a huge fortune.
But I mean, we talk about the bloodline between these two, but the bloodline between the Flying Scotsmen, you know, that's family. That's brother and brother. And especially with the twin connection, I think he's just missed a tag there. Just missed the tag there, and I think they are getting closer.
That would have turned the whole match around if he'd have made that.
Because at this point, Stephen Doherty is a fresh man, you see. And so he'd add a new dynamic into the matchup.
Gary here trying something.
Hulkenrun, I believe,
out.
he didn't quite get all of it, but...
Well,
and a reversal there. So the referee's always got to be at work here, I'd have thought.
but not done so much with the weight of the flying jump, just purely just powering the move over with...
Oh, and a chop block. A chop block. See, straight back to the leg, you see. Because unfortunately, Gary Doherty cannot make a tag from the position. Oh, he can, but it'd be very, very difficult. He's trying to reach over, trying to do anything here, you know, to get over to his corner, but...
This whole match for the Cornells, all about knobbling the knee.
I mean, I think they are kind of adamant to prove that their win against Team Perfection was not a fluke. It's not a fluke.
And you look at this match, you can say it's not a fluke. Team Perfection, they got cocky.
I mean, covered there, and he just got his hand on the ropes, which, you know, that's very good positioning there by Freddie Cornell to know where he is in the ring at all times.
Certainly, I think the Cornells have already proved they were worthy of getting this #1 contender position and being put in for this match.
I mean, when you can get in front of the champion in any situation, it's always good. But you have got to, unfortunately, in this match, they have got to win the match. They have got to win a pinfall or submission.
Has given Freddie Cornell his first public warning.
The crowd liking that as Freddie Cornell does get a public warning there from the referee. Public warning is, of course, in tag match about a single action. Again, the disqualification doesn't favour Freddie Cornell or the Cornells in terms of getting the tag belts. But straight back into the corner.
And it's back in the Cornell's corner.
I mean, they've done a really, really good job here of keeping Gary Doherty kind of as far away from his brother as he possibly could be.
He's one desperate Doherty now. He needs that tag out so much, and if he can't make it, it's very short space of time he can hold out, I'd have thought now.
But I think the Cornells, they are kind of overdoing a bit with this knee. Gary Doherty had a knee injury. They've worked on the knee for quite some time now. If it was me in there, I'm not the best with submission, but I've been looking to lock in something. You've got a lot there with the leg. You've got half leg Boston crabs that you can lock in. And I think that would be a manoeuvre that would end this one.
I think if they went for that now, and it is time for a move like that.
But I think it's just a matter of them kind of wanting to prove themselves in this division. It's a very competitive division now, I'd have thought, as well, with the tag teams coming up.
I mean, I'd even say with both the legs so badly damaged, even roll them up in a small package, the pain in the legs.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have the leverage to kick out of that manoeuvre, I wouldn't have thought, at this point. But but the thing is, there, you see, the Cornells just took their eye right off the ball there.
And you've got the tag. The referee didn't see it, whether she'll
allow it or not.
Mind you, it looks like Stephen's pretending to be Gary there. Whether he's trying to fool the referee or the Cornells. But Freddie's got problems of his own at the moment.
He's dealing with Maxine Paylor, our official here in this one. But he hasn't seen the threat. I don't think either of them have clocked onto this threat because...
The Doctors, they are identical twins. They are, well, similar looking. I think he's found out now. He's found out now.
That was a brilliant manoeuvre there by Stephen Doherty, taking him down into a suplex of this one. Nice drop kick there. But now, for some reason, here comes Teddy. He gets a drop kick as well. Take him down into a hip toss.
And it's that word you mentioned earlier, the fresh man in the match.
Well, yeah, it's fresh man syndrome. You know, he's taken it out on both of them now. He's able to. I think the Cornells, unfortunately, they could have had the match won at an earlier date. What's that? He's got his hand. Straight off the head. Straight off the head. That's going to be it.
And he knocked him out with that.
But no, but thing is, that's what Freddie Cornell was getting out of his pocket.
It was Maxine Paylor in an incredibly difficult position now. I mean, can you really allow someone to claim a pin when they just knock someone out with a foreign object, even if it wasn't them that brought it in?
But Freddie instigated that incident, and I think the referee going to award it. What's she doing?
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's your announcement from the
Flying Scotsmen have been disqualified for using
crowd? Not liking this at all.
weapon.
No, but
Your winners of the match by disqualification, the Cornnells.
But unfortunately, this did not get them the tag team titles. People got to remember this. You know, you cannot win the tag team titles. I don't know if the Cornells know this. I don't know if the Cornells are aware of this rule.
they're certainly looking very happy now.
I mean, no, the Cornells don't even know this. They're celebrating that they won the title. They're not the champions. They're not the champions.
Celebrating now, celebrating all over the referee.
I think the referee's now going to explain to them, break the news.
This is rather joyous to see them happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the title can only change hands by pinfall or submission, therefore still, the Dropkixx Tag Team Champions, Flying Scotsmen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was a tough call there for the referee Maxine Paylor, but I think she made the right one.
I think she had absolutely no choice, no matter who brought the weapon to the ring. If you knock your opponent out and try and claim a pinfall from it, it's got to be a disqualification. There's really no option left to the referee.
But unfortunately, they just didn't, you know, bide well for the Cornells, and they don't win the belts. As we are going into Brentwood, we have ourselves the tag team tournament. 4 teams are going to enter at Ilford on the 15th, and the winners of the final match of that will be contested at Brentwood on the 22nd of June. We shall see you then. I've been the fabulous Luca Jackson, joined by Mr. Cease's Got a Voice.
For more details, check out www.dropkixx.com.